start by introducing yourself, please.
Yeah, I'm Chris Carver. I'm an Information Systems Manager for a company named Aranex.
Could you describe the company that you work for?
I work for an events organisation. Main niche market is professional conference organising. So I manage the AV and IT aspects of all of our conferences nationally and internationally, as well as leading the team that manages and administers the internal systems.
What is your position exactly?
Basically, I'm the lead technical resource for the organisation. So in terms of Microsoft technologies, VMware technologies, SAN-WAN, networking, the whole lot. So I basically lead up the team that looks after that.
What type of environment do you work in?
In what regard?
Is it full on? Is it kind of relaxed? Is it
look, it's an incredibly professional business. Obviously, our image to our potential clients is of utter importance to the organisation. So, it's a full business attire company. It's very high paced. It's very laid back, but it's very high paced. There's a lot on all the time. There's no real downtime at all. But at the end of the day, it's pretty full on.
How long have you been working for that particular company?
Just a little over 8 months now.
How long have you been in the actual position? Plus your time at the company? The whole 8 months.
The whole 8 months.
Yeah. 8 months. Yeah. What qualifications, skills, and personal attributes are needed for your position or your role in the company?
I don't think that's one of those curveball questions. I don't think any particular one attribute nor the credentials will provide you any job in IT. I think a lot of it is all experience and knowledge. I myself are very light on the certification front. Only obtaining my VCP late last year, which is VMware Certified Professional, and halfway through my Microsoft certification. But that coupled with a fundamental knowledge of the industry and fundamental knowledge of IT and technology itself, and 8 years experience in the industry has gotten me to where I am. So there's many roads you can take. You can take the studious road or the working hard road.
So you mentioned 8 years in the industry. That prior work experience, what were you involved in?
Started off doing desktop and component level repairs for notebooks and desktops. Not plasma, so like LCD monitors when they first came out, data projectors, DLP technology, stuff like that. Then moved from that quite rapidly into systems, working for some banks, then also working for a software development house and managing the production and test environment for them.
Are there usually many opportunities for a career advancement where you are at the moment?
Nah, not really. SMBs, unless they rapidly grow, you generally find that where you're hired for is where you stay until you sort of exhaust all the avenues of learning and growth there, and then basically you find.
How might university graduates find employment within the career that you're in?
So systems and infrastructure. Look, honestly, base fundamental knowledge of IT is paramount to get to where I am and to do what I do on a daily basis. I think that everyone that really wants to follow that systems path and that high-end infrastructure needs to go through a bigger organisation, like a large multinational corporation, and start at the bottom, start at a service desk or a bottom level help desk, and just get their feet wet, basically, get the knowledge, get taught by people. You'll find that most people in IT are more than happy to knowledge transfer and provide you any and all experiences that they have obtained over their years. So like starting at the bottom, working hard. I think with IT, everyone has to do that. They won't look at you otherwise.
Does your role require a lot of communication? Are you communicating with people on a regular basis, or do you get a task?
It's a little bit different now. Obviously, my prior experience was mainly systems based, where it was all deliverable based. So you'd be assigned a project or a set of deliverables, and you'd basically sit there and work to your own devices and means until you achieved the goal that was set for you. Now it's a lot different because of the inclusion of managing IT and AV for conferences and technology for conferences, and having to obviously deal with venues, the organising committee for the conference itself. Plus also, supplier liaison. There's definitely a lot of communications. Yes, there's a high element of communications in what I do.
Currently, what methods of communications do you use in order to fill that requirement? Is it more so email or face-to-face?
Depends. It depends on the sort of nature of what it is that I need. Obviously, when you're dealing and liaising with suppliers, it's best to have everything in writing, so you've got like a trace of emails or a trace of something to refer to when when the event kicks off or whatever it happens to be. So you've always got something there to reference against. But no, I find that like I said, it all depends. If we outsource, so like we just outsourced our PABX upgrade, which is a phone system upgrade, to a company in Melbourne. And I did most of my communications with him via Skype, actually. And, just IMing via Skype or call conversations via Skype. But like I said, it depends on
the current project.
What I'm working on and who I'm liaising with.
So obviously you believe that regular communication is vital with any part of the role?
I think that any part of any role, anywhere, communication is the most important, one of the most important parts. You fail to communicate, you fail to make sure that everyone knows what's going on.
During your time in this role that you're currently in, have you encountered any social or ethical issues?
It was definitely a culture shock. Everyone's a lot more lively and bubbly in events, and they're a little bit more outgoing and a little bit more, I don't know, crazy for lack of a better term. And that suits me well. But from coming from a strict IT background, it was definitely a culture shock. Yeah. So no, not really. Like at the end of the day, I get along pretty well with most people, so don't really encounter those sort of problems.
Aside from that, what challenges have you kind of come across within the role?
I guess we've got a I don't know, just the culture of hand-holding within the organisation, being 80 to 90% females, and this is not a sexist comment in any way, shape or form. You find that IT being heavily male-dominant, most of the guys or most of my predecessors had been more than happy to assist on all aspects, whether it was tying their shoelace or down to the finer keys. And I come from a more IT services background where it's you need to educate your users to have a productive service team and service operations team. So that's been hard, and overcoming that and retraining the engineers below me's mindset as to how and which to deliver quality support to the users without compromising on that quality customer service in the same aspect. That's probably the biggest daily challenge. On budget. Obviously most people in my position can attest to this, that lack of budget when needed. Infrastructure upgrades need to be ongoing, and if you don't continue to upgrade them, you fall behind the 8 ball and end up having to spend more. So it's all an ongoing project, really.
Within the role that you're currently in, including the things you've just mentioned, not only as a professional but personally, do you believe that you've grown as a person?
Yeah, definitely. IT it's one of the only business units within most organisations that touches and interfaces with every other business unit. Doesn't matter what sort of line of business the company's in. So dealing with different people of different walks of life has obviously broadened my perspective and obviously made me an easier person to deal with on a daily basis. I think I've matured as a person, but not only matured as a person, but matured mentally as well.